Right. Okay. So what is a page, guys? Page is a basic allocation unit. That is wrong answer. Page is actually a basic storage unit. So everything will be stored when you are trying to create a table. Okay. So automatically the table at the end of the day, the table will be created on a page, guys. So page is a basic storage unit, guys. Page is a basic storage unit. Okay. And basic is basic address unit and page is basic address unit. Wrong answer. So page is basic file group unit. So one person answered basic file group unit. This is also wrong answer. So the correct answer is page is basic storage unit, guys. Okay. And size of the page and extent 16 KB, 63 KB first option, 8 KB, 65. Okay, 64 KB, 8 KB. So four people answered like confused. First I asked about page and then extent, right? So it should be 8 KB and then 64 KB. Okay, so four people answered wrongly like 64 and 8. So this is not correct answer. The answer is 8 KB and 64 KB, guys. Okay, what is an extent? Extent is basic storage unit. One person answered, that is a wrong answer. Extent is basic allocation unit. This is the correct answer, guys. 16 people answered correctly. So extent is nothing but it's a basic allocation unit. Extent is a basic file unit. Wrong answer. Extent is basic file group unit. Three people answered. Not sure how come it was. Extent is a basic file group unit. That is not at all a correct answer, guys. Okay. Different types of extents we have: basic extent, uniform extent, basic extent, mixed extent. Two people answered wrong answer. Basic extent, mixed extent is a wrong answer, guys. So uniform extent and non-uniform extent, again, two people answered wrongly. Uniform extent and non-uniform extent is not the correct answer. Uniform and mixed extent is the correct answer. 70 people answered, okay, correctly. Identify all the correct answers. Okay, multiple choice question. You can see in the brackets, if it's showing multiple choice, you can select multiple options, guys. Okay. Right. Page is not shareable between the object. Correct answer. When we are creating tables, SQL will allocate a page from the uniform extent. Five people answered. So is it correct, guys? Is it correct? When we are creating a table, SQL Server will allocate a page from the uniform extent.
From mixed extent.
Wrong answer.
Right.
Right. So it's going to allocate a page from the mixed extent. Okay, it's going to allocate a page from the mixed extent, guys, not from the uniform extent. First allocation will be from the mixed extent. The subsequent allocations, okay, will be from the uniform extent. So if the table is growing, the subsequent allocations will be the uniform extent, guys. Okay, so this is how. So 17 people answered correctly. And I mean to say, not 17 people. This is correct option. 15, first one, and third one is also correct option. We can create two tables. This is completely wrong. Okay, this is completely wrong. Those who answered, like five people answered this. We cannot create multiple tables on a single page. Page is not shareable. If you see here, page is not shareable between the objects. If this is true, how come this will be true? Right? We cannot create multiple tables on a single page, guys. We cannot create multiple pages. I mean to say, we cannot create multiple tables on a single page. Page is not shareable between the objects. Page is not shareable between the objects, guys. Okay. So just a quick recap of the previous session. Okay. So just a minute, guys. Let me open the diagram. So in the last class, we discussed about the database internals, right? So how the database will be organized physically. Okay. So logically, database will be organized in a different way. Physically, the database will be organized in a different way. Okay. So I'm sharing my screen. I hope you can see my screen, guys. So in the SQL Server, again, SQL Server is nothing but an instance. So in the SQL Server, we will have databases. Okay. In the databases, we will have file groups and log files, right? In the file group is nothing but what is file group, guys? File group is nothing but collection of data files. Okay, file group is nothing but collection of data files. So in the file groups, we will have data files. We have two types of data files. One is .mdf file, another one is .ndf file. Okay, so in the file groups, we will have data files. In the data files, we will have extents. The data files, we will have extents. You can see here, okay, the coloring and all you can see. So in the extents, you can see pages. You can see the pages, guys. Page is nothing but a basic storage unit of a SQL server. Page is nothing but a basic storage unit of a SQL server. So when you are creating any table, initially SQL Server will allocate an 8 KB page to the table. Okay, initially for the first time, if you are creating a table, initially SQL Server will allocate a page from the extent. So if the table is growing, if lot of inserts, updates, deletes and all going on, right? If the table is growing, if the new data is coming into the table, so the subsequent allocations, okay, the subsequent allocations, as we have again extents, right? In the extents, we have two types of extents. Okay, in the extents, we have two types of extents. One is uniform extent and the second one is mixed extent. Uniform extent means all the 8 pages belongs to a single table. Uniform, okay, right? All the 8 pages. Generally, SQL Server will allocate one 8 KB page to the table. Okay, one 8 KB page. You can see here total 8 pages are there, 4 and 4. Extent is nothing but collection of 8 data pages. Okay, extent is nothing but collection of 8 data pages. And we have two types of extents. Extent is also called basic allocation unit. Page is basic storage unit. Extent is basic allocation unit, right? So when you are creating a table, SQL Server will allocate one page from the mixed extent for the first time to save the storage, right? To save the storage, to avoid the wastage of pages, SQL Server initially will allocate a page from the mixed extent. What is mixed extent? What is mixed extent, guys? What is meant by mixed extent? All the 8 pages belongs to
Single table.
hmm?
All 8 pages.
Belongs to
Different tables.
Different tables.
Correct. All the 8 pages belongs to different tables is called a mixed extent. Okay. Uniform extent means all the 8 pages belongs to same table. Mixed extent means all the 8 pages belongs to different tables. So how many maximum tables I can create in a mixed extent?
8 pages.
How many maximum tables I can create in a mixed extent?
8 tables.
Correct. Each page is one table, right? Each page is one table. So we can create 8 tables. Each page is one table. We cannot share the page between the objects. Object is nothing but table, guys. So maximum 8 pages is an extent, right? So each page is one table. So 8 pages, 8 tables. So maximum I can create 8 tables on a mixed extent, guys. Okay. And maximum how many tables I can create in a uniform extent?
Single table.
How many tables I can create on a uniform extent, guys? Guess it. What is there in that?
One table.
Single table, sir.
8 tables.
Uniform extent, how many tables I can create?
8 single table.
8 or single?
Single.
8.
8. Okay. So if I can create 8 tables on an uniform extent, if I can create 8 tables on mixed extent, what is the difference between mixed extent and uniform extent? Is it valid? Is my question valid, guys? If I can create
Yes.
same 8 tables on both uniform and mixed extent, what is the difference between these two? I can create only one table in an uniform
In
extent.
definition
Why?
itself we
Because
have.
it is clearly saying all the 8 pages belongs to single table. If all the 8 pages belongs to single table, why I can create 8 tables, guys, in the uniform extent? Right? I cannot create 8 tables. I can create single table. Maximum 1 table I can create in a uniform extent. Maximum 8 tables I can create in the mixed extent. Guys, don't worry at all. These are internals again. So it's good to have the knowledge, but again, don't worry. We are discussing something like some rocket science and all, nothing. Very simple. Just in case if this is the first class, go through the last class, guys, which is very important. Okay. And in case if you missed in the last class, again, just go through the last class recordings so that it will help you. Okay. Fine. So mixed extent means all the 8 tables belongs to different objects, guys. Okay, so this is the hierarchy, physical hierarchy. This is how the table will be created. At the end of the day, table will be created on a page, guys. Okay, if that page is not sufficient, again SQL Server will allocate. The subsequent allocations will be from the uniform extent if the table is growing. Okay, so in today's session, we'll try to create a database. Okay. So, and then while creating the database, we have a lot of options. We'll discuss all those options, guys. Okay. I'm connecting to the server. Murali, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So while connecting, is it not showing the name to rename?
No, actually,
Okay, do one thing, huh? Like after this class install, you are joining from mobile or laptop?
laptop.
Laptop. So create an account in the Zoom. Okay. Just log into your Zoom account using Gmail. You can also use your existing Gmail account. No need to create a separate account and all. Okay, log into the Zoom using your Gmail and then rename it. Okay, every time, okay, it's difficult to rename. Okay, fine. Right. And Raji, Ganesh, Gautam, Harish. Tausif, Nikhil, Vinay, Chandra. Okay, done. And someone dropped Zoom. Right. Fine. Okay, so this is the server, guys. This is the server. Just a minute. Let it open. Let the server manager open first. Then we can do that. Right. Okay. Fine. Let me open SSMS. Anyone facing any issues while installing the VM, while creating the VM, while copying the softwares, and while installing SQL Server Management Studio? Right. Till now.
Yes, sir.
Okay. We'll discuss after the class. Okay. So, Sirish, Akpul Sirisha. Right. Okay. So till now, these people completed all the 4 tasks, guys. Sirisha, Vinay, okay, and Himansh, Subbu.
I
completed
completed
Siddhi.
skill server and system, right? But I cannot update all this.
Sorry, Shiva.
I completed skill server and systems,
Okay,
but
SSM.
I cannot update all this.
Yeah, please. I hope you have the access to this sheet, right? Right.
Sorry?
If you don't have access, ping me in the WhatsApp. Okay, I'll give you the access to this sheet so that you can update it. Okay, once that is completed, just update this sheet. Everyone, guys, once your tasks are completed, just please update this sheet. Okay. Right. And Sanju, very good. And Rajesh, Mutmari, Murali, Samyukta, Ruth, Mahesh, Ganesh, Shravan, Venki, and Harish. Okay, good guys. And what about Gautam Selvan, Chandra, Netaji, Tausif? We have to update this sheet, guys. Okay, Tausif, where are you, man?
Yeah, actually, and my laptop was not working good. I will do tomorrow on the weekend.
Okay, okay, done. Chandra and Netaji, Gautam Selvan. Okay, please update this sheet. I hope you have the access. If you don't have the access, ping me in the WhatsApp. Okay, I'll give you the access. Not an issue. And yeah, let me go to this server. Right, okay, let me connect to the SQL server. You can click on the connect button. You can see database engine. That is one way. Or else you can also directly click on the connect button. Okay, charger button kind of thing. You can see, right? Charger icon kind of thing. You can also choose connect and the database engine. There you can see database engine. That is one option, or just directly click on this connect button. Okay, so you can also select this charger kind of icon. Okay, so that we can see the server name. If you cannot see the server name here, you can just go through this, browse for more, click on this plus symbol under the database engine. You can see the server name and you can just click OK and you can just click connect, guys. Okay, so in this way we can connect to the SQL server. Okay, so in case if we are getting any connection related issues, where we can check how to troubleshoot, guys. In case if we are getting connection related issues, how to troubleshoot, from where we can start.
This PC properties. We
Okay,
can
what we can see under this PC properties.
we can see computer name.
Okay, but see, now I'm getting this error. So what causes
Connection
this
issues
error?
we can see in error log.
We need to check if SQL server is running in
Service.
the backend.
Next,
SQL service is
in what scenarios will get this error? In 2-3 scenarios will get this error. Can anyone tell me what and all scenarios will get this error?
Instance name or
We should whether the service is running or not.
Correct.
Yeah.
Very good. If the service is stopped state, we'll get this error. Next,
server name
Network
right or wrong.
reachability.
server name. Okay. Okay. If the server name is wrong, then also we'll get this error. Very good. Next,
Network reachability.
Network issues.
Very nice. Very nice. Network issues. In case if the network is down, then also we'll get this error. Next,
Service not started.
service. Okay. That we have already discussed that point. Next.
proper port should be open.
Ports, very nice, Subbu, very nice. Okay,
Ports.
should be opened. I'll tell you guys what is port and all we'll discuss. Okay, ports, if the ports are not opened, especially there are 3 ports for SQL Server. Okay, so I'll show you in the configuration manager. So TCP IP is the responsible one for the remote connections. Okay, so TCP IP should be enabled. So in some of the cases, browser service also should be enabled. So let's check the reason whether SQL services are running or not. Where we can check, guys? Where we can see whether SQL services are running or not.
Services.
Configuration manager and
Services.msc.
services.msc.
Very good. Okay, for SQL related only, if you want to see, you can go with the configuration manager.
Configuration manager.
Yeah, if you want to. Okay. Today, first what I'll discuss, I'll show you the port number and I'll show you how to change the service account. Okay, these 2 are very important tasks. Then we'll start creating the database. Right. If you go to services.msc, you can see all the services in alphabetical order. If they are not in the alphabetical order, just click on A. I mean to say the name column automatically becomes in the alphabetical order. Just type yes. You can see all the services starts with yes. If you see here whether this is running, guys, is the SQL service is running now currently?
No.
Not running, sir.
It's not running. Okay. So what we can do now, we have to start the SQL server. Okay. I mean to say, you know, right, how to start the SQL server. Right click, you can see start button. So you can start the SQL server, and then you can also start the other services like agent service and all. Okay, so once it's started completely, then we are able to connect to the SQL server, guys. Let it be. And guys, for US people, I guess daylight saving is on. Okay, for US and Canada people, please adjust your calendar, okay, accordingly, fine. Busy, and we have Tausif, right? Please adjust your calendars, guys, okay. Right, okay, so now the SQL services are running. This is the main service. This is the database engine service, guys. Make sure the service is running. So then go to the management studio and again click on connect, okay. So now how to fix this issue now? Can anyone tell me?
Options certificate.
Very good, okay.
Yeah.
Very good, Sandeep. Go to options. You have to only for the SSMS, only for SSMS 19.1 we have this issue, I guess. Okay. So remaining all SSMS are fine. For other SSMS, you don't need to select trust server certificate. So this is actually a bug, guys. Okay. This was fixed in the later versions. Select this trust server certificate. It will trust the server certificate, and then it will help you to connect to the SQL server. So in this way, we can connect to the SQL server, guys. Okay, this way we can connect to the SQL server. Now you can see all the options like databases, security. Will be discussed each and every object during the classes, during the training. So don't worry, guys. Chalo. So now in the last class, we discussed about the service account. Service account is an account which helps to run the service. Okay. Service account is an account which helps to run the service. Service account is very important, and service account is going to do read and write operations. As you know that SQL server, what is the responsibility of the SQL server? This SQL server means it is going to store the data, process the data, and retrieve the data. Storing means what? Write operation. Processing, retrieving means what? Read operations. So to read where your files will be there, generally your files will be there when you create any database, it will create a file in the disk, right? When you create any database, it will create a file in the disk. So now I'm opening C drive means what? What internally happening, guys? Now I'm opening C drive means what's internally happening?
Reading.
The administrator account, okay? Now the account, you can see administrator account, you can see here. This account is entering into this folder. Getting my point, guys? The administrator account, that is a user. The user is entering into the folder. If again I'm going to users folder means again the administrator is entering into the users folder. So like this, if I'm opening one folder means I should have permissions. Don't think that you are able to open folder means without permissions you can do that. No. Basically, you're an administrator, you can access all the folders. So I'm entering, I'm opening, I'm just double clicking on this folder means I'm actually entering inside the folder. So for this, we need to have permissions. As you're an administrator, it is not asking permissions. So administrator can do anything, right? So who can enter into these folders, guys? Who can enter into these folders? Users only can enter into these folders. Getting my point? Only the users can entering into these folders, guys. So the service is going to help you to read the data, write the data, and process the data. Read means it has to enter into the folder and it has to read the file. Correct, guys? Correct? Agreed? Write means again it has to enter into the folder and again it has to write the files to the write the data to the file. Agreed? Is this
Yes.
valid? Yes.
Yes.
So can a service enter into any folder, guys? Is it possible to enter the service into the folder? Service can never enter into any folders, any drives. So on behalf of service, who can enter into the folders? Who can
User.
access the folders?
Service account.
Service account. Your service account internally will write the data to the disk and read the data from the disk. Are you getting my point, guys? Only users can enter into the folders, not any service, not any software. So here, if you install SQL Server, instead of this software, there will be a representative called service account. This service account will enter into the folders or drives to read and write the data. Getting my point? So that is called service account, guys. Service account should have administrator permissions. Why? Because administrator can do anything in the local machine. He can create the folders, he can delete the folders, he can write the data, he can read the data, he can log into any of the folders, any of the drives. So that's why a service account should be always a local administrator. Agreed, guys? Agreed? So it should be always a local administrator. So now I need one account, those who can log into every folder. Okay, that account is called service account. Again, don't think, guys, service account is a different account. Service account is also one kind of user. I told you, right? Only users can enter into the folders. So service account is also a user with administrator privileges. So now what I have to do? We have different types of service accounts. We have default service accounts, anti-local system, local service, network service. See here, every service will have a service account, guys. Some services are tagged with a local system. Some services are tagged with a local service. Some services are tagged with a network service. These three service accounts are called
Default service
default
accounts.
service accounts. So in the last class, we discussed what is the challenge with the default service accounts. I gave you an example also. If you are staying in a PG, I mean to say, if you are staying in a room, one maid is coming daily and she is cleaning and she is taking 30 minutes to complete your work. Now, two people added to the same room. So now she is going to complete all the work in 45 minutes. Now, 3 people added 1 hour. 4 people added 1 hour 15 minutes. So if people are adding, the work also will be increased, right? Right? So
Yes.
see how many services are running with the same 3 default service accounts. Lot of services are running with the same 3 default service accounts. So I don't like that. Why? Because these service accounts has to wait for my SQL server, or my SQL server has to wait for these SQL server for these service accounts. I don't want that. I'll create my own account. I'll recruit my own maid so that she will only work for me. That is called customized service account. What is that, guys? Customized service account. Right? Getting my point? So I can create my own account, my own service account, guys. So that is called customized service account. During the installation, you will also get some default accounts. Those are called virtual service accounts. Virtual service accounts. Why? Because up to SQL Server 2012, I guess you can choose any service account from the default, or else you can create a separate service account. But from 2016, I guess, okay, Microsoft introduced virtual service account. So if you don't create an account, SQL Server itself will create a virtual service account. That is called with the instance name. Anti-service with the instance name, you can see the instance name. But we don't use these virtual service accounts also. We will use our own service accounts, domain accounts we are going to use. Okay, why? Because what is domain, I'll tell you in the Active Directory class, which will take a month from now. Okay, so don't worry about the domain account and all. So we'll be discussing about the domain, guys. Okay, so I don't like this virtual accounts and all. So I'll go with my own account that is called customized service account. So how to create a customized service account, guys? Again, service account is nothing but a user. So you have to create one user first. How to create the user? Go to the Windows server, open run, type lusrmgr.msc. LUSR, L means local, USR means user, MGR means manager. LUSR is the shortcut to open the users, to see the users and all. So now you can click OK. You can see users and groups. Go to users. You can see only one user, which is administrator account. Remaining all the users are in which state, guys?
Disabled.
Disabled. You can see the arrow is down. If the arrow is down, the account is disabled. Getting my point, guys? For administrator, you don't see any arrow. Okay, so administrator is active. That's why you are able to log into the server with administrator account. Are you getting my point? How many users are there in this list? All the users can access this server, guys. How many users are there in this list? All the users can log into this server. Even you can check in your local laptop also. Every day morning, you are starting your laptop and you are giving one password. Which password you are giving? Anyone observed that one? Which account password you are giving? You are using one user account. You can see now, open lusrmgr.ms in your local laptop. You can see different users. So the account that you are using daily, that account will be part of this list, guys, lusrmgr.msc, right? So all the users, in case if anyone wants to log into this machine, I have to create an entry here. This is the entry for Windows machine. Those who are part of this list only can enter into the Windows server. Getting my point, guys? Those who are part of this lusrmgr.msc list, they only can enter into my Windows server, not others. This is how we'll maintain the security of the Windows machine. Not everyone can. Shanmukh, I know the password. Okay, I mean to say, can I enter? If you know the username and password, you can enter, but you cannot use your own name. Okay, why? Because here your account is not created, right? If your account is created here, that's fine. If your account is not created here, you cannot log into the Windows machine, guys. This is how Windows level security will work. So now, just now we discussed even service account is also a user account. So I have to create a user. How to create a user? Right click on the white space, okay? Right click, new user. Now you can give the name. What is the name, guys? I can, in the organization, generally the account names will be like this. Okay, it should resemble, it should sound like that is a service account. By just looking the name, we have to immediately identify that is a service account. You can give your own name also. You can give Murali, you can give Ganesh, you can give Gautam, you can give Ruth, you can give whatever you want, you can give it, guys. But it should sound like it is a service account by just looking. Why? Because a lot of people will access this SQL server, right? They should know what is the service account, right? Other DBA team also will be there. You cannot give your own name and all. So there is a format, there is a standard, guys. You have to give the name like this. In the organization, people also will follow these kind of standards. So SQL underscore, if it is a production, we'll give PRD. If it is non-production stage and all, we'll give STG, DEB. Like that, depends upon the environment. Imagine if it is a production, PRD underscore service account, right? SVC underscore ACP. Now you can easily identify, right? This is a SQL server, production box, service account, right? Right. Now you can give the name. Again, you can give any name, but it should sound like it's a service account. Full name, description, you can skip it. Password, you have to give the strong password. In the organization, who will create the service account? Can anyone tell me?
Windows team.
Windows team.
Windows team, guys, creating users. I'm creating one user here. Okay. Creating users will be done by the Windows team only. As a DBA, we don't have permissions to do that. Okay. And we are not the responsible one also to create these accounts. Okay. For our practice, we are the Windows team, we are the network team, we are the DB team, we are everything, right? So that's why I'm creating. But in the organization, you have to, guys, again, for every instance, we don't create a separate account. Already one account will be there. We'll use it. As we are setting up from the scratch, I'm creating one fresh account. That's it. Okay. So this password cannot be expired. If the password expires, generally, the service account will be down. If the service account is down, the service also will be down. So if the service is down, the application will be down, guys. Okay. So password never expires. You have to choose this option. So Windows team, while creating the account, they will choose this option. Password never expires. Okay, just create it, guys. It was created. Now you can see one more account called service account. This is just a normal user account. Guys, this is just normal user account. I just gave the name as service account. This is not yet service account. So how can I make this as a service account now? Getting my point? I just created a user account with the service account name. That's it. Now I want to make this as a service account. How can I do that? In two ways we can do that. One is through services.msc. You can do that. Go to SQL Server Service. Guys, go to SQL Server Service. Okay, this is the main service. Right click, properties. Okay, now go to logon page. If you see here, currently what it is showing, guys. Currently, what is the service account it is showing? NT service some default instance name. Okay, again double click on that to open. Go to logon page. Now you can see here service account. This is the actual service account that is running currently. If you want to set up the local system account, you can choose, and you can choose local system, local service, network service, any of the accounts. I want to go with custom account, right? Go to this account, click on browse. Now type your name, the account that you just created. You can just type first 3 words, guys. If it's not coming, then you can type other words. Check names. It's not coming. Okay, fine. SQL underscore. What is the name? PRD, right? PRD. Check names now. Still not coming. It should come actually. Okay. SVC underscore ACT. Okay.
And it is under the lower cases.
No problem.
PRT.
Not an issue. Not an issue. Lowercase, uppercase, that is not going to create any problem. Okay. So now you can see the account name. When I click on check names, you can see it will come with a computer name. This account is created in this computer. In that way, it will sound, guys. Okay. This account is created in this so-and-so computer. So you can see computer name / your account name and click OK. Now, while creating this account in this section, where is that? Yeah, in this section, I gave one password, right? Just now. While creating this account, I gave one password, right? Here, I gave one password, right? This password you have to give here. Means while creating the account, which password you gave, where is that service? Okay, it was gone. Double click, done. So now you can see password, right? While creating this account, what password you gave, that password only you have to give here. Don't give any new password. Then apply. And then, guys, changing the service account is a downtime activity or it's not a downtime activity? Guess it, no problem. Just guess it. Whatever it is.
Yes, it is
yes or
downtime.
Not an issue.
It is a downtime. Downtime.
Guess, guys. Yes or no?
Yes. It is a downtime activity because all the services will be down, so users may be impacted.
Right. Very good. Okay. Changing the service account means it's not actually a downtime technically, but after changing the service account, you have to restart the service. Then only the new account will take effect. Okay. Right. Okay. Right. So here, as you are changing the service account, once this is done, you have to restart the SQL server, right? Restarting SQL server is a downtime, you know, right? If you restart the SQL server, all the SQL servers and databases will be down. If the databases are down, application will be down. What is downtime? If the application is not accessible, that is called downtime. Getting my point? If the application is not accessible, till what time it is not accessible, that time is called a downtime. If it is not accessible for 1 minute, 1 minute is the downtime. Okay, right? So after changing the service account, you have to restart the SQL server. So SQL server will be down. So application will be down. So you have to take the proper approvals before changing. I mean to say, for the existing instance, it is running since days, since months, since years. You want to change to the existing one. But during installation, as we already took the downtime window, no need to take approval. If it is a fresh installation, no need of approvals, guys. If it is an existing installation and you have to change the service account for the existing server, then you have to take the downtime. Okay, getting my point, guys? Chalo, now it is saying the account prod has been granted the login as a service account, right? You can just click OK. One more thing. Okay, see here, the new login name will not take effect until you stop and restart the service. Click OK. So one more thing, it should be a local administrator. The service account should be local administrator. So how can I make this account as a local administrator, guys?
Groups, admin groups.
So I have to make this account as a local administrator, right? So go to groups, you can see administrators group, double click on this, click on add. Now you have to type whatever account you created, SqL_PRD_. Let me check whether it is coming or not. No, it's not coming. Okay, chalo, fine. SVC_ACT. Okay, just type, just click on check names, right? You can click OK. So now this account is going to be part of administrator group. That means it's a part of, that means it's an administrator now. So service account should be local administrator, guys. Service account should be local administrator. So in this way, you can make sure the account is added. So now what you can do, okay, now you can see here, it was changed, right? Now to take effect, you have to restart the SQL server. How to restart? Right click, restart, and yes. Guys, if the password and all is not matching, the service will not restart, guys. So make sure you are giving proper password and all, okay? Right, now I just changed my database engine service account. Guys, these two services are main. Remaining service accounts, you can leave it as a default. Browser, every service will have a service account, right? So remaining service accounts, you can leave it as a default. Database engine and agent service, both are main service accounts, guys. Okay, so now I just changed the service account from the services.msc for database engine. For this also I have to change. This I will show you. You can do it from here itself. Double click login, you can change, but you should know how to change it from the configuration manager, right? So let's open configuration manager. I'll show you how to do it from the configuration manager as well. Okay, so where is our configuration manager? Where is the briefcase? Yeah, red briefcase you can see. So you can also type simply, you can type configuration manager in the start, guys. In the start, if you type configuration manager, you'll also get it. Right, you can see here SQL Server 2019 configuration manager. Each version will have its own configuration manager. There you can see all the services related things and all, protocols related things and all. Okay, so now you can see it was updated for SQL Server database engine, but I have to change for the agent also, right? Agent is still showing the old one only. So how to update? Again, same process. Just double click on it. Go to login section, browse. Here you have to give the service account name, SqL_PRD. Let's check names. No, it's not coming. _SVC_ACT. Okay, just check names. Right, and click OK. And again, what you have to do here? Password, not new password. Again, I'm saying you have to give the existing password that you created while, okay, creating this account. Apply, yes, and guys, you can change both the service accounts from services.msc or from the configuration manager, but I'm just showing how to do it from both places. That's it. Okay, so now what you can do, just restart the service. Okay, this is the restart button in the configuration manager. You can just click on this restart button. It's restarting now. So now you can see for agent it was applied. You can see here for database engine also it was applied. So now we just changed the service account of a SQL server. This is how we can change the service account of a SQL server, guys. After installation, during the installation, you can give the account name directly, like just now I gave, right? In the same way, if you want Shanmukh, I want to do it during the installation itself, yes, you can do it. So during the installation, you can see services screen. There it will ask you to browse. I'll show you later during the installation of other instances. I'll show you. Okay, so you have to choose the service account. During the installation also, you can do that. After installation also, you should know how to change the service account. Again, changing the service account is a downtime activity, guys. Okay. Fine. Any questions, any doubts, guys?
Yes, Shanmugh. If at all that user account was not getting over there, just now we got it, no? Where to check again?
Where to check, you only tell me. Now just casual I'm asking. If we are not getting the user account, where to check it? Obviously, where it was created, there only we have to check, right? Right?
There we are not able to see that account.
Then you have to create it. You are not able to see means you have to. Why you are not able to see means that was not created, right? See, again, this is like a never-ending question, right? In case I created but still not showing, it's not like that. If you created, it will be there itself. If it is not there, means something went wrong with the OS. Again, this is a Windows level activity. You have to check with the Windows team. But this is like a local service account. This is like a local service account. Now, in case in the organization, if you have any issues, generally you cannot see in the user section. Why? Because we will use domain accounts in the organization. This will be discussed during the Active Directory setup. Okay, this will be discussed during the Active Directory. You should know if you are good in the local account. I'm sorry. If you are good in local account, okay, how it will work and all, then it's very easy to understand domain account also. Domain is nothing but it's a common. See, why I'll go with the domain? Simply, I'll give you an idea. Imagine if I have 10 servers, I have to create 10 accounts like this, right? Agree? Each server I have to create an account, right? This server I have to create an account. Second server I have to create. Third server, like that. 10 servers means 10 accounts I have to create, guys. Agreed, everyone? If I have 100 servers, how many service accounts I have to create?
100.
If I have 1,000 servers,
1,000.
very good. 10,000 servers.
10,000.
Very nice, very nice. You are good in mathematics. Right. Fine. So now, who will manage 10,000 accounts, guys? The organization. 10,000 accounts and their passwords. Generally, we'll give the same account, same password. To overcome this issue, we have a concept called a domain. Okay, Active Directory. We have a concept called Active Directory. So if you create an account in the Active Directory, that account you can use across all 10,000 machines. Means no need to create 10,000 accounts if you have Active Directory. One account is enough. One account is enough to create. This account will help for all 10,000 servers. 10,000 accounts you are saving. Right? The same concept will be there for DBA group also. Okay, so will be discussed during the security and will be discussed during the Active Directory, guys. So that's why generally, okay, you don't see any user accounts in the LUS or mgr.ms in the organization. As of now, we haven't created any domain Active Directory, right? So I'm showing it in the local machine. Once we created the domain, you can see the account will be created in the domain itself. So who can access domain, guys? Only Windows team can access Active Directory. Active Directory, domain services, both are same. ADDC or ADDS. Active Directory, domain services. So only Windows team will have access to the AD machine. Right? So in case if the account is not visible, you have to check with the Windows team. Okay. Fine. But you as a DBA, you have to do one thing. Even though it's from different machine, even though it's from Active Directory, you should check whether the service account is part of local admin or not. This is one of the troubleshooting steps. If the SQL server is not starting at any cost or because of some issues, you are trying to start the SQL server. The SQL server is not starting. Okay. So in such scenario, the first troubleshooting step that you have to do is go to lusrmgr.msc, go to the groups, double click on the administrators group, check whether the service account is part of the local administrator group or not. Even though this account is created somewhere else, but it should be part of the local administrators group. Okay, then if it is not part of the local administrators group, then add it. You can have permissions to add the account. Generally you cannot have permissions to create the account, but to add the account, you will have permissions, guys. You can simply add the service account in this section, guys. Chalo, clear? Any questions here, please?
So right now we are just changing the service accounts for
Correct.
the agent and that database engine
Database.
services.
Correct.
So, but we can also set the same service account for others as well,
Others
right?
also,
That is not
but
an issue.
generally we don't do that. In the organization also, we don't do that. Our
Okay.
main responsibility is only on database engine on agent.
Okay.
Other
So is
side,
there any reason why
it's not
like
like that is the priority of the service, that is SQL Server, database engine, and the agent service. Both should run perfectly fine. So the data processing and all will be quick. Okay. So other services, if you want, you can change it, but we'll give preference to the database engine and agent service, as both are main important services in the SQL Server.
Okay. Still we can do it. That is not an
We can
issue.
do it.
But
We can do it. Let me see. Other services also we can change to the current service account. I am just see, now imagine the same example. I'm allocating one separate maid for me. So in case you are my friend, you asked me, hey Shanmukh, I need your maid for some of my things. Okay, so a lot of pending things are there. Can you help me? I can ask her to work with you as well. Okay, so I can guide her. I can also give the same service account for all the services. Whatever I created now, I can change it for all the services. But I have my own account, right? Why I'll give this account to everyone? Why I'll share this account with everyone? For performance issues only, right? I created my own account.
Yeah.
Right. So if I give the same account to every service again, what is the use of the separate account?
Same issue will come. Yeah,
right.
correct.
Right.
Okay. Fine. Thanks.
Yeah. Questions, guys?
Yes, Shanmukh, we are adding this user to the administrator group so that we will have full permissions.
Correct. That service account will have full rights so that he can enter into any drive in the machine, any folder in the machine, he can read, write extensively. So that's why we have to add the service account into the administrators group.
Okay.
If you don't add, sometimes it cannot log into the drives. If it cannot log into the drives, okay, it cannot start the SQL service. So that is the main challenge. That's why every service account should be part of the local admin.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. Okay, chalo guys. Okay, take a break. Come back after 15 minutes. We'll discuss about the port number. Okay. Right. I'll be in mute, guys. In recording. Right. Okay, so fine. Let's go with the port number, guys. Okay, where to check the port number, how to change the port number, what and all precautions we have to take the port number. Okay, after changing the port number and all. Right, go to same configuration manager. Okay, so if you go to the configuration manager, there you can see SQL Server network configuration. There is one more option called SQL Server network configuration. Okay, so in the network configuration, if you see protocols, okay, protocol section will be there in the network configuration. If you see like protocol section, so protocols, we can see 3 protocols, guys. So in the 3 protocols, TCP IP is the important protocol for the remote connections. Okay, in case sometimes if the users are not able to connect, like earlier we got an error, right? Big error while connecting to the SQL Server. Like we have discussed, like in case if the SQL Server is not running, in case if you gave the wrong server name, in case of any network issues, generally we'll get that error, right? Apart from all those things, in case if TCP IP is disabled, then also we'll get the same error, network related instance specific error. Like that, you can see the same error. So make sure TCP IP is enabled. So by default, when you install SQL Server, this TCP IP is disabled, guys. Okay. So how to enable? Double click on that. Okay. You can see generally to enable, right click enable, guys. Okay. Right click enable. And again, this is a downtime activity. Okay. Why? Because enabling TCP IP need to restart the SQL Server to take effect. Okay, when you restart the SQL server, then only it will take the effect, guys. Okay, so now where we can see the protocols, double click on this port, where we can see the port number of the SQL server. Okay, double click on TCP IP. This is the interview question, guys. They will ask what is port, where to change the port. Port is nothing but it's just an entry point. It's just it's an entry point, guys. Okay, from there it will listen the connections. Okay, fine. So if you see the IP addresses section, you can see TCP port, right? You can see TCP port, and if you go down IP all, you can see the main TCP port. Okay, main TCP port. This is called your port number, guys. This is called your port number. So what is the port number for SQL Server default instance?
1433.
1433.
Interview question. Okay, what is the port number of default instance? What is the port number of default instance? The answer is 1433. Where we can check the port number in the configuration manager under network configuration under protocols, TCP IP protocol properties. Go to IP addresses tab. If you go down for IP all, you can see the TCP port. So which is 1433 is the default port number. Can we change the port number? These are the follow-up questions. 3-4 questions you will get on this. Okay. Can we change the port number? Yes, we can change. Changing the port number is a downtime activity. We have to restart the SQL server after changing the port number. So we have to take the proper approvals, like how we are discussing the same way you have to explain in the interview, guys. Okay, can we change the port number? If you asked means explain all the procedure. See, sometimes they don't like it, but most of the times, what is port number? If they ask how to change the port number, if you explain about this port number for 2-3 minutes, you are very confident that you know this topic, so that you can talk 5 minutes also on this topic if they raised. Why? Because you know this topic, so you can kill the time in the interview. Okay, generally interviews will be for 30 minutes window, guys. Mostly the interviews will be 30 minutes window. So if you know about the topic, you can explain, guys, like how you write your exams, degree, PG exams. If you don't know the answer, if you know one word, we'll start explaining about that word for 2 pages, 3 pages also. Okay, and that also needs a lot of talent. We can easily read and by heart, but it's not easy to fill 2-3 pages with a single word. We are that much intelligent, right? Right, guys? Right. In the same way, the port number, if they are asking about port number, what is port number? Can we change the port number? Okay. So you can explain whatever you know about the port number, not only related to port number, anything if they ask about, until they ask you, hey, stop, you can explain, no issues. No one will say anything if you are talking about the topic. They want to see your confidence in the topic. Okay. So the port number, we can change it from the configuration manager. Under network configuration, we can see TCP IP port. Under TCP IP properties, you can go to IP addresses section. In that, if you go down, IP all will be there. So in the IP all, the main port we can see. So the default port number is 1433. We can change the port number, but we have to restart the SQL server to take effect. So which is a downtime activity. So how to change the port number? Here you can give your own port number. Okay. Whatever port you want, you can give, guys. You can change it, a 4-digit port number and all, you can give it. Generally for default instance, we don't change it, but for security reasons, some companies, they will change the default port number also. Okay. Most of the companies, they don't change the default port number of the SQL server. In some companies, they will change the default port number also for the security. Why? Because everyone knows that the universal truth, default port number is 1433. So hackers can hack the port using the port. Hacker can hack the SQL server using the port, right? They, of course, they cannot, but again, not sure, right? Maybe what kind of things will come in the future. So for safe side, they are going to change the port number also. So this is how you can give it. Generally, for example, I want to give 1435. You can give like this, and you can click apply, and you can click OK, and then you have to restart the SQL server. I'm not going to change the port number. I'll keep it as it is. Okay. So again, double click on the TCP IP, go to IP addresses section, go down. Only IP all is only enough, guys. No need to change IP1, IP2, IP3, IP4. Everywhere you can see IP1 same port number, IP2 same port number. But IP all, if you change, all the previous IPs are going to be changed, guys. Okay, so no need to change other IPs. Just change the IP all so that it will change the whole SQL instance port number. For named instance, you will get a 5-digit port number. Okay, for named instance, for default instance, 4-digit port number will be there. 4-digit port number. Okay, but for named instance, 5-digit port number will be there. Automatically it will populate, guys. Shanmugh, do we need to give the port number? Not required. Automatically the port number will be populated after the installation of the SQL server. Okay, so let me show you in my local laptop. In my local laptop, you can see this is my local laptop, right? So let me open configuration manager in my local laptop. You can see for default and named as well. I'm just opening configuration manager. We can use shortcut also. So the assignment is, what is the shortcut for the configuration manager, guys? Shortcut to open configuration manager. Where is the SQL server? SQL server, SQL server, yeah. Why we don't see the configuration manager, guys? GURL configuration manager. SQL server. Showing in my laptop. Okay, let me do one thing. Okay, so the shortcut is Windows R SQL Server Manager. Your port number, okay, build number, sorry, not port number, build number.msc, guys. Okay, right. Let me check. Yeah. If you don't see in the start buttons and all, you can use the run Windows R SQL Server Manager. In case if you want to open SQL Server 2017 configuration managers, 2017 build number. What is the build number of 2017? Starts with 14.0, right?
14.0.
Yeah,
Yes.
so SQL Server Manager 14.ms. If you want to open SQL Server 2019 configuration manager, what is the shortcut?
15.0.
15.
So SQL Server Manager 15.msc. Okay. So you can see here there are two instances in my machine. One is default instance, second one is named instance. The default instance, if you go and check, double click, if you go to the IP address, you can see, okay, 1433 is the default port number. For named instance, if you go and check, double click on, again, click on the named instance protocols, double click, and if you go to IP addresses, right, and if you go down, you can see it's not showing here. Generally, it will show you 49,000, something like that. It will show you, guys. I guess I just removed it, I guess. Okay. So like that, it is going to be like, it will show you guys 49,000 or 48,000, like this, a 5-digit port number, it will show you guys, so that you can change it. So post installation, one of the step, guys, changing port number is one of the post installation step. We don't give dynamic port numbers. If you don't give the port number after the installation, generally it will install with the dynamic port number. Dynamic port number. Thank you. Okay, so we don't use it dynamic ports. Okay, we will change it to our own port number. So in the organization, they'll give you what under port numbers you have to give. So you have to change the port number accordingly, guys. Okay, this is how the port number will work, guys. Okay, right. Chalo. So now let's create one database. Okay, so let's create one database first. Okay, and then we'll discuss how to create the tables in the evening session. Okay, right. So if I want to create a table, I should have a database first, right? So without why? Because all my tables will be stored in the database at the end of the day. So when you install SQL Server, you don't get any user databases. We have two types of databases. One is system database, second one is user database. So when you install SQL Server, you will get 4 system databases, technically 5 system databases. You will get it. One you cannot see in the management studio. I'll show you later during the system databases discussion. We have complete session on all the system databases, master, model, MSDB, TempDB, resource DB, what each system database will be discussed. Okay, right. So now system databases will come along with the SQL Server installation. But how can I get user databases? How can I get user databases? Okay, so user databases generally you can create it by your own. So you will get requests from the developers. Hey, DBA team, can you please create a user database, or can you please create a database so and so? Okay, they will ask us to create. It's not our wish. Users will ask us to create. Based on their inputs, we'll create it, guys. Sometimes they will give the scripts. We can create a database in 2 ways. One is using GUI. Second one is using query. Okay, generally we'll use queries only. So who will give the queries? Developers itself will give the queries. Sometimes developers itself will have access to create the databases. If they are asking us to create the database, we need some details, right? So what and all details we need? What is the database name? While how to create the database, guys? Right, click on database, you can see new database name, new database option. This is how generally we can create using GUI. Okay, using GUI, this is how generally we'll create it, guys. So now listen carefully. Database, what is database? Database is nothing but collection of data files and log files. Okay, collection of data files and log files. Right. Each database should have minimum 2 files. Okay, one data file to save the data permanently, one log file to save the data temporarily. Again, in the last class we discussed what is the use of the data file and log file. Data file will be a permanent file. Data will be permanently stored in the data file. Log file is a temporary file, a reusable file. Okay, log file is a temporary file. It's a reusable file. Until the whole data is going to be committed into the data file, temporarily it will store in the log file. Once the data is completely committed or moved or saved in the data file, whatever data is there, whatever transactions I can say whatever transactions are there, those transactions will be truncated. I'll tell you again in the next class or whenever possible what is delete, drop, truncate. Okay, these are 3 important operations: delete, drop, and truncate, what they are going to do. So truncated means initially, generally, just try to understand the word truncate means it will be deleted. Technically, it will be deleted. Once all the data move to the data file permanently, the transactions will be deleted from the log file. In this way, log file will be a reusable. Okay, in this way, log file will be a reusable file, right? So until the data is going to be moved to the data file, temporarily it will stay here in the log file. Once it's moved completely, then the transactions will be truncated. So log file will welcome other incoming transactions. Fine. So minimum 2 files I need, guys. Without these 2 files, I cannot create a database. This is mandatory. I need 1 data file and 1 log file. Can I create databases with only 2 data files? Without log file, can I create a database?
No.
Yes,
No,
you
we can't.
can. We can create.
Without log file, can I create a database?
No.
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 Someone said yes, we can create.
Instead of MDF, as we talked in the beginning of the class, we can create a .ndf file, which is a data one.
No, I'm saying without log file, can we create a database?
No.
It is not possible, right? So the thing is, we should have minimum one log file, minimum one data file to create the database. Okay, whether you can add multiple data files, log files, that is a different case. But if I want to create, I need minimum one data file, minimum one log file. So basically, database is nothing but a collection of a data file and log file. Database is nothing but collection of a data file and log file. Without data file, I cannot create database. Without log file, also I cannot create database. So both should be there. Okay, so to create a database. Chalo. Now go to the server. This is the window that you will get when you open new database wizard. Database name, I can give any name, but again, this name will be given by the developers application team. They will give the team database name. If they don't give, you can ask them, hey, you asked me to create a database. Generally, they will mention in the ticket itself. No one will directly comes to you, hey, Gautam, can you please create a database? And they don't whisper, okay? They'll create a request. Why? Because they have to know the status. For auditing purpose and all, everything will be done in terms of tickets only in the organization. It's not like chai friends or cigarette friends, so that when we met in the when we met outside, like while taking chai and all, hey, can you please create one database for me? No, that is not the process. Even though you are friends, still, as per the organization standards, the user has to create a request. Hey, DBA team, please create the database. This is the database name. Like these kind of inputs has to be given by the developers or application team. Once we got those inputs, then we can start creating the database. So imagine batch 52 is the database name. Okay, so the database name is batch 52. You can give any database name, guys. You can give Amazon, Flipkart, any application related database names you can give. Every object will have owners. Every object will have owners. Database is also an object. In the SQL server, there is a concept called owner. Each and every object will have owner. Database will have database owner. Table will have table owner or object owner. Jobs will have job owner. Okay, so every object in the SQL server will have owners, guys. Most of the objects, not every, most of the objects. So who is creating the database? Who is the owner of this database? You have to mention here. Who is the owner of the database? You have to mention here. Is it mandatory? Can I skip this owner? Without owner, can I create the database? The answer is yes. I can skip this. So now it is showing default. What is meant by default? What is meant by default? Owner, default owner. Who is default owner?
Administrator, local administrator.
Our SA account.
Right. So
One who is creating.
Right. So very good, very good. Who said this one? Gautama? Right.
Yes.
So not administrator, not SA. Those who are creating this database, he will become the owner. If it is default, those who are creating this database, he will be the owner of the database. In my scenario, administrator connected to the SQL server, right? Which account? Through which account I am doing all these things? Administrator. So who is creating the database? Administrator. So who will be the administrator? Who will be the owner of this database batch 52? Administrator. No, I don't want to make him as the owner. For example, Harish connected using his own account, Harish account. Here it is showing Harish account. Now Harish opened a new database wizard. If Harish don't change this default value, who will be the owner of the database that was created by Harish, guys? Harish only will be the owner of the database, right? So who is creating the database? Generally, he will be the owner of the database. In our scenario, administrator is creating the database. So administrator is the owner of the database. Chalo. Is that okay that individual persons can be owners of any objects? Is that valid? Is it acceptable?
No.
No.
Why?
Like if he is the owner, like if his ID is disabled.
Very good. Very good, Subbu. So if Harish is the owner, Harish got a good opportunity in another company. So Harish left the organization. So once you left the organization, do you think your accounts will exist?
No.
Definitely no. Right? Your accounts will be deleted. So Harish account will be deleted. So if Harish is the owner of this database, if Harish account is deleted, this database can be malfunctioned or it don't work properly. So that's why we don't encourage to keep the individual users as the owners of any object. I need a permanent login. I need a permanent login. I should keep at least one person here as a owner. So I cannot keep it as a blank. I need one permanent login. So who will be the permanent login in the SQL server? Who will be the
SA.
permanent login in the SQL server?
SA account.
SA
SA.
account.
SA account.
SA
So
account.
SA is the owner for all the objects. SA should be the owner for all the objects. Database owner should be SA. Job owner should be SA. So why no one can delete SA login? Okay, no one can delete SA login, guys. No one can delete SA login. You cannot delete SA login. It don't allow you to delete. Okay, if you click OK, still you cannot delete. Drop failed. Cannot use the special principal SA. So you cannot delete this SA login. So SA is the powerful account in the SQL server. SA is the powerful account in the SQL server. So most of the objects like databases, jobs, SA will be the owner. So while changing SA password, you have to be very careful. Okay, you have to be very careful while changing SA password. I'll tell you. I'll show you how to change the passwords and all of the user. Don't worry. Right. So who will be the owner of the database, guys? Who should be the owner of the database? SA. You have to change. Why? Because this is the standard that we will follow. So tomorrow you got the job. You are in the organization. Someone asked you to create a database. Creating database is very easy. We'll discuss for 30 minutes, but it's a 10 seconds, not even 10 seconds, 5 seconds work. But still we'll discuss for 30 minutes. You have to understand all the objects, right? So you just created a database and you in the owner section, you just keep it as a default. So Harish created a database and he didn't change it the owner section. Tomorrow, like when team lead or manager is working on this, when he checked that database owner is showing Harish, it's not a professional way. Okay, it's not a professional way. Generally, we cannot keep it as Harish. Sometimes it's acceptable to keep the owner as a service account. Service account also you can keep the owner of the database, guys. But don't keep your individual accounts as owners of the database or jobs and all. That is not a professionalism. Again, the manager will ping, hey, why you didn't change? Or else you recently got the job. You recently deployed into the team. Then they will check, okay, this guy is not a genuine guy. He didn't change the owner of the database. Even though you know how to create the database, how to change the owner, still they might think that you are not following standards. They will get a doubt whether you are genuine or not. If you are new, if you're already working since years, they don't get any doubt. But this is the process, guys. Now my question is, can we change the owner after the creation of the database? Just guess it, no issue.
Yes, we can.
Yes, we can change.
We can.
We can change it. Okay, whenever you want, you can change it. Is it a downtime activity then?
No, it's not a downtime.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
No.
Good, very good. Okay, it's not a downtime activity. Changing owner can be done at any time. No need to do anything, guys. Okay, it's not a downtime activity. Chalo, this is all about your database owner. Fine. So now, I told you, right, when you create any database, how many files will be created? By default?
2 files.
Minimum
2
2
files.
files, right? This is mandatory. You can see here database files section. So this is the first file. You can see the file type is data file.
Data file.
Right? You can see here file type data file. You can also see the second file is like _log, which is a log file. The type of the file is log file. Okay, by default, you will get these two options. And I told you during the discussion, we discussed about this diagram, if you remember, can data files existed by its own? Can data file exist by its own? No.
File.
Every data file should be part of one file group. So it can be created only in the file group. It cannot create by its own. Okay, if you see here, as it is a data file, we should have one file group, right? So this is called a default file group, which is primary. Automatically you will get it. Primary is the default file group. Automatically you will get it during the creation of the database. If you want, you can see here file group section. You can see primary is the file group. Shanmugh, can we add multiple file groups? You can tell the answer by just looking at the screen. Can we add multiple file groups?
Yes.
Yes, you can see here add file group option. Sharmukh, can we add multiple files? Multiple data files or log files?
Yes.
Yes.
Data files. Yes.
Yes, we can add. How many files and file groups we can add? Now you have to remember this value. What is that value? 32,767. Okay, this is a magic number in the SQL Server. You can create 32,767 databases. Okay, you can create 32,767 databases maximum in the SQL Server. You can create 32,767 file groups in the SQL Server in each database. You can create 32,767 files, whether it is data files or log files. You can create maximum of 32,767 files. You can create 32,767 logins. You can create 32,767 users. For all these things, the answer is 32,767. If anyone is asking, hey, how many maximum databases we can create in SQL Server? 32,767. How many file groups it will support? 32,767. How many files it will support? 32,767. How many logins we can create? 32,767. How many users we can create? 32,767. This is the magic number in the SQL Server, guys. Okay. So I can create different file groups also. If I want to create a file groups, go to file groups, add file group option. You can give whatever you want. Initially, I'll discuss all these points. Later, I'll show you, okay, how to create file groups, files and all. But I told you for log file, which file group it belongs to, guys? Log file, which file group it belongs to?
Primary.
Primary file group.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Yes.
Actually, as per this diagram you are telling, but I told you during the discussion, log file, there is no file group concept. File groups is separate, log file is separate. There is no file group concept for log files. Okay, I have to just draw one more box here, and I have to keep the log file separately. Okay, so if you see here, there is no concept of file group. See here, not applicable. Log file, there is no concept of file groups. Log file concept, there is no concept of file group. So only for data files we have file group concept. Chalo. So when you are creating any file, imagine you are creating a small notepad file, guys. Every file will have one size, right? Big or small, at least one size, right? For example, Windows are notepad. Okay. So I'm just saving this notepad file, save. On the desktop, I'm saving something class, right? So I just created this notepad. Every file will have a file, right? I mean to say size, right? Getting my point, guys?
Yes.
Big or small, at least it will have some size. If you go and check the properties, you can see as of now 0 bytes. Okay. So now if I'm entering something, dig. Okay, I just saved this file and closed. Now 51 bytes. If I'm increasing, okay, if I'm keep saving like this, right? When I'm increasing this, when I'm increasing the text, okay, so the file size also will increase, right? Right, guys?
Yes.
So when I'm adding the data, into the file size will increase. It will grow. So until which point it will grow, guys?
Until disk space.
Very good. Who said that? Gautam. Super. The file is created in the C drive. Agreed, guys? So till how much point it can grow? Till there is a free space in the C drive, it can grow. So what is the free space in the C drive? So what can be the maximum file size now? Till what point it can grow? 8.92 GB. Why? Because I
Free
have
space,
8
yes.
GB free space is there, right? Remaining all are occupied. So until 8.92 GB it can grow. How it will grow? If anyone is inserting lot of data, then only it will grow, right? Correct, guys? In the same way, we have data file, log file concept. Every file will have an initial size, which will be 8 MB by default, you will get it. In some organizations, the initial size will be like 1024 MB, 1 GB. I hope everyone knows the difference between bits, bytes, KBs, megabytes, gigabytes, terabytes, right? Initially we discussed, I hope, right?
Yes, bro.
Right. So initially you will get a 8 MB file. A free 8 MB will be free only. Initially you'll get 8 MB. Generally in some organization there will be some standards. They will create 1 GB files. 1 GB files, 1024 MB files. Initial size. Okay. In some organizations it will be 8 MB. In some organizations it will be 64 MB. Not an issue. Later also we can change it. Now, as it is creating two files, data file size minimum size is 8 MB, log file minimum size is 8 MB. It will create with 8 MB, 8 MB. And now, guys, the same example I'll give. If I'm keep adding the data, the server. If I'm keep adding the data, this file will grow automatically, right? The notepad. If I'm keep adding the data, this will grow automatically, right? So when I'm adding, initially it was 512 bytes. Now it was 4 KB. Why? Because I'm keep adding the data. So it is growing automatically, right? So in the same way, my files also grow, has to grow automatically. Why? Because, why I tell you? If there is no auto growth, what will happen? I'll tell you. In each server, generally we'll have 10 to 20 databases, guys. Generally, casually, we'll have in general, we'll have 10 to 20 databases. Generally in the organization, you can create 32,000 databases, but still they will generally go with 10, 20 databases, sometimes 40, 50 databases also. Imagine if one server is having 20 databases. So if I'm having 10 SQL servers, how many total databases? Each server is having 20 databases. I have 10 SQL servers. Total how many databases?
200.
200.
Very good. If I am having 1,000 servers, each server with 20 databases, how many databases max?
20,000.
1,000 into 20, 20,000. Each database minimum how many files? Minimum two files. Minimum, I'm asking minimum, not maximum. Minimum 2 files.
2 files.
So 20,000 databases into 2, how many files you will get it? 40,000 files.
40,000.
Very good. So who will check whether these files are growing automatically or not? 40,000 files you have to check in every day, every minute, every second. Is it possible to monitor? Okay, this file is full, let's increase some space. That file is full, let's increase some space. Who can monitor 40,000 files in the organization? If there is no auto growth, who can monitor all these 40,000 files, guys? Getting my point? Very difficult, right?
Yes.
If there is no auto growth, what will happen? Imagine if there is no auto growth. If I disabled auto growth, what will happen? This file will be full up to 8 MB. Once 8 MB is full, that's it. The file won't grow automatically. If the file is not growing automatically, it cannot insert the data from the application. So application will be down. Getting my point, guys? So but I'll have thousands of files in the organization. Who will monitor each and every file, whether this is full or not full, whether it is growing automatically or not growing automatically? So that's why we have to enable auto growth for each file. If you enable auto growth, Shanmukh, what will happen? How it is going to grow automatically? How much it will be added? You can define here. You want to grow the file in percentage, you can choose. So you gave 50% now. Now tell me what is the new file size if my 8 MB is full?
4 MB.
4 MB.
Total file size will be
12
12
MB. 12
12
MB.
MB. Right. If it is 10%, how much MB will be added, guys? If the 8 MB is full, every time, if it is 10%, how much MB will be added?
0.8.
1 MB.
1 MB.
10% of 8 MB.
0.8.
1 MB.
10.
1 MB. Who is saying 1 MB?
0.8.
What is the 10% of 225, guys?
22.5.
22.5. You know, right? You have to simply add one decimal. That's it. 1 point.
Yes.
That's it. Okay. 22.5. So what is the 1% of 229 MB? 1%. 1% of 229.
2.29.
That's it. You have to add two decimals. If it is like, if I ask what is the 25% of 8 MB? How can we calculate quickly? 25% of 8
10.
MB,
2
4 parts. 25%. 25% means 4 parts, right? What is
Yes.
the 4 parts of 8 MB? 2 MB is the 4 parts. Like that quickly you have to, I mean to say, not required, but again. Right. So if my 8 MB is full, 10% will be added. So 0.8 will be added. So total file size will be 8.8 MB. If my 8.8 MB is also full, next
Next 10%.
8.8%, 10% of 8.8. So it will keep adding the percentages, guys. For example, let's go with 50%. It will be easy for you. So now if my 8 MB is full, it will add 4 MB next time. So total file size will be 12 MB. So if the 12 MB is also full, how much it will add next time?
18.
Are you sure?
6. Yeah.
6
12
MB.
plus 6.
6 MB. Why? Because now the new file size is 12 MB. 50% of 12 MB is 6. So yeah, you said correct answer. Total file size will be 18 MB.
Yeah.
After that, okay, 18 MB. So if 18 MB is also full, it will add 9 MB.
9 MB.
27 MB. So if that is also
27.
full, yeah, if that is also full, again it will add 50% of 27 MB.
13.5.
So like that, it will keep adding. Till what point it will add? Till what point it will add? Just now we
Till
discussed
the
about
disk
the node
space.
size.
Disk space
Till we
is
have disk space.
In the C
Very
drive.
good, very good. The free space that is there in the C drive, it cannot add unlimited space, right? How much, where you are storing the file, in which location you are storing the file, in that drive, in that location, based on the free space, it can grow automatically. That's why I explained about
But
yeah.
yes, Sanmukh,
Yes.
if that disk size is 100 GB,
Hmm.
it cannot be filled 100 GB, right? Then application will be down, right? So that we have monitoring, right? 80, if fill up to 80 or 70%, alert will be triggered so that we will
Correct.
request for disk addition, right?
Correct. That is
But
the
till until fill that disk, we will not keep this like 50%, 100%, right?
No, I just giving an example. Generally, 10% will give in the organization, or will some people see here? Some organization will go with the 10%, guys. Some organizations will go with megabytes, 1024. Initially, in case if my 8 MB is full, every time it has to add 1 GB. Getting my point, guys? Is it clear?
But my question is, until when it will get added? Till the disk
Still
full
there is a
or
free space. Still there is a free space in the drive, Venkatesh.
then 50, if disk space is 50 GB, all 50 GB, if it is utilized,
Full.
then application
Then
will
what
be down,
we have
right?
to do? What we have to do if application?
We have to keep monitoring,
That
for
is
alert.
different thing that we are going to do. But if that 50 GB is full, you have to request the storage team to add the extra storage to the disk. So don't think only 50 GB drive is enough to maintain terabytes of your database size is 2 terabytes. Are you going to manage with a 50 GB drive? Getting my point, Venkatesh? If
Yeah,
my
correct. But
database
thousands of servers we have databases.
Yeah.
Then all the databases we cannot do manually how much that disk filled like that, right? So
who is
we
doing
should have
manually now? Who is doing manually now? That's why
no one
we
is
will
like
use auto growth. Are you getting my point? Now, every time I cannot go and change auto growth. Auto growth means once automatically it will grow. So I have to give some value, right? How it will grow and all, I have to give some value, right? Initially, I'll set this value. Later, automatically it will grow until there is a free space in the drive. If there is no free space at all, we have to request Windows team to add the free space to the drive. In my scenario, I have only 8 GB free space. So this file can grow up to 8 GB, right? What if the whole 8 GB is completely full? The application will be down, but we don't wait till the application is going to be down. We'll get an alert like 90%, 95% alerts will get. Based on the alerts, okay, chalo, the whole like drive is full completely. So I cannot delete anything, right? I'll request Windows team, hey, I'm using 25 GB drive. Can you please add 25 GB, 25 more GB? That I cannot automate. That is called a DBA will do daily. Are you getting my point? Daily, if you go to organization, daily, every day you will get 1-2 issues related to the disk spaces. Minimum 1-2 issues you will get it. What you have to do? You have to check the drive space. If the drive is about to full, depends upon the files. If it is log file, we have to shrink. If it is data file, we have to request Windows team, hey, Windows team, my drive is almost full. Windows or storage team, my drive is almost full. Can you please add some storage to this drive? Getting my point, Venkatesh?
Yeah, that's what I'm asking. So
Yes.
monitoring should be placed in this. That's
Definitely,
what my
definitely. It should be. I told you, right, 40,000 files, how we'll manage without monitoring. That comes under
Yes.
different part. And the automation will discuss that one. But initially, if I said monitoring, again, the discussion will go into the monitoring side. Now the thing is, this is how we will manage auto growth. Okay. Every file will have auto growth option. We have to enable the auto growth so that we no need to give manually every time once the file is full. Okay, we can choose auto growth so that it can grow automatically in terms of percentage or in terms of MBs. Some companies will go with in percentage like 10%, 20% they'll give. Some companies will go with in megabytes. They will give 1 GB. So if my 8 MB is full, what is the new file size, guys? If I choose in megabytes.
1 GB.
1 GB plus 8 MB, right? 1024 plus 8, 1032. If 1032 is full,
Another 1024.
1032
one more
plus
GB,
1024.
2 GB, right? 2 GB. It will be like 1024 plus 1032. It will be like that. So every time 1 GB will be added. If it is initially 1 GB, 1 GB is full, 1 more GB will be added. If 2 GB is full, 1 more GB will be added. Like that, it will keep adding until there is a free space in my drive. Okay. If there is no free space at all, then as a DBA, you have to monitor it. You will get the alert. Like so and so server, so and so drive is full. You will get the alert directly to your email. So you have to log into the server. You have to check which drive is full based on the drive. If it is log drive, of course, this will be discussed later also. We have to shrink the log files. Why? Because log file is a reusable file, right? We can shrink it. But data file, we cannot shrink it. We have to add extra storage. So I can limit the size of the file. I can limit until when it can grow, I can limit it. If you limit 100 MB, it can grow up to 100 MB. If you limit 100 GB, it can grow up to 100 GB, right? Like that, but generally we don't limit it, guys. We'll keep it as unlimited only in the organization. Okay, by default, the file size will be unlimited only. Okay, right? So like this, it will be, so I'm going to keep this as in percentage. Click OK. So is it clear, everyone, what is auto growth and all?
Sir, I have one doubt.
Please.
Sir, so you're keeping 1 GB for auto growth.
Correct.
So if we are inserting 8 KB of data, it will grow. It will still grow to 1 GB, right? The file.
You can see.
It will allocate some.
Yeah. See, if your data is 8 KB, it will allocate 8 KB from 1 GB free space. Like that, if you are just now, that's why I created a notepad and that's why I just inserted. If I'm keep inserting the data in the notepad file size is increasing, right? Right.
Yes, yes.
So now initially
Yes.
I gave 1 GB. I mean to say up to 1 GB there is a stop mark. Once my data is completely full up to 1 GB, okay, chalo, automatically you can grow. You can extend 1 more GB. I mean to say automatically. Okay, if 1 GB is full, automatically, okay, let's adjust 1 more GB from the drive. That is also full. Okay, let's adjust 1 more GB from the drive. Until there is a free space, it will keep growing. Now we in the childhood we have a story, right? A camel story, right? First it will ask some space, okay, to keep the head of the camel, and slowly it will occupy the whole tent, right? In the same way, initially we'll give some space. If the data is increasing, it will slowly occupy the whole disk.
Okay. Okay. Got
Okay,
it.
if
Got
the
it.
file is growing, if you are not inserting any data, it don't occupy. If you are inserting the data, it will occupy.
Got it. Got it.
Sir, what happens if we shrink the data file? What are the consequences? Or is there any?
Forget about it. Forget about it. We'll discuss later. Okay. So this is like we'll go with the topic wise. Okay. So shrink is a separate concept. There we'll discuss all these things. What is the impact? What is the confluence? I mean to say, okay, problems and all will be discussed during the shrink operation. Okay. Fine. Any other questions?
I do have a question. On the percentage of the outgrowths, who in the real organization, who determines those percentage, the size?
The reorganization?
Yes.
In the reorganization of the data, you're asking.
Yes. Yes,
same,
please.
same. Generally, we'll keep 10% only in the reorganization also. When the reorganization come into the picture, generally tell me while doing any shrink operation, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we don't do shrink operation on data files, right? We cannot do the shrink operation on the data files. So if you go with the shrink operation also, it will go with the percentages only, like as how you gave in the auto growth, like that only it will go. It will grow during the reorganization also.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sir, we discussed about adding how to add the file groups, right?
We'll be discussing later.
Can you tell me under what circumstances we can add additional file groups?
We'll be discussing. We'll be discussing it. Will be discussed. 1 minute and just 1 minute.
So by default, it's a one log of data file and one log file.
Hello, sir. Can you hear me? Hello.
Right. Okay. So I'll tell you in the next class, I'll tell you how to add files, in which scenarios we'll add files and all, Nikhil. Okay. Right. Fine, guys. Any other questions we have now?
If you add
Yes,
file,
Yes, yes, please. Quick question. TA204. Who is that? Someone joined with TA20489.
yeah, it's me as actually from other laptop.
Who is
Tausif.
that? Tausif. Okay, okay, done.
Yeah. So I have a question that, if we are adding more of data files, so when we will see this screen, it will show all those files?
Yes, it will show. It will show. It will show
Right
all
now
the
it's
files.
showing 2 files. It means we have created 1 log and 1 data file.
Yes, automatically we'll get these 2 files.
Yeah, it will display all the files.
Correct.
But what is the normal behavior in organizations? They make multiple files or they keep only these 2 files?
So generally, see, very simple logic here. Someone asked now, okay, Shanmukh, in case if my drive is full, what we'll do? Okay. In case if my drive is full, I'll give you a brief why, because it needs a lot of discussion. That's why I just skipped it so that we can manage in the next class. So now imagine now my drive size is 25 GB. So now this drive is full. Okay. Now what I'll do, I can increase the drive, right? Till what point I can increase the drive? Till what point I can increase the drive? What is the maximum capacity of the drive?
When it's getting maximum?
Max, what is the maximum size of the drive?
24 GB.
No, not here. If this 24 GB is full, generally, what can be the, I'll go with the increasing, like extending the drive, right? Till what point I can extend this drive?
Generally, it is recommended up to 2 TB in the
2
organization.
terabytes. 2 terabytes.
Yes.
Okay, 2 terabytes. We have different types of partitions: MBR partition,
Yes.
GPT partition. MBR will go for up to 2 TB. Means even though if my file is completely full, I'll extend the disk till 2 terabytes. What if my database size is 10 terabytes? How can I manage?
Multiple
We'll
disks.
save that multiple disk files in
So I
multiple
have
disks.
to add one more data file in another drive. Getting my point, guys?
Yeah.
I have to add one more file. While adding the file, it will ask you to which drive you want me to add. I have to give new drive if my file is completely full and it occupies 2 terabytes. What I will do? I will create new file in another drive so that it will manage the data in the new drive. If that is also full, again that can be 2 terabytes. So 2 to 4 TB gone. My database size is 10 terabytes. It's still growing. So one more file I'll add in another drive. That is also full. One more file I'll add in another drive. Like that, I'll keep adding the files in different drives. So I can see the list of the files when I open the file space of the database. I can see the list. I can see the size. I can see auto growth. I can see in which path they created, which location they created. Everything I can see here.
The file maximum size limit is 2 terabyte.
Not file, drive sizes.
Drive side. Okay, got it.
File, data file, there is no limit. Log file, the maximum size is 2 terabytes.
Okay.
I'm just removing the newly added file, guys. This is how you have to remove. Okay. So if you see the log file, generally the log file size will be limited, even though it's unlimited, but still it can grow up to 2 TB only. It cannot grow more than 2 TB, guys. Okay, so this is how generally we'll manage the files. Clear? Someone is asking questions.
Even
Shanmukh.
Yes, please.
Yeah,
Yeah,
go ahead.
please continue.
So in any big organization, again, the log file cannot go more than 2 terabyte?
No, it cannot grow. The file size, the limitation from the Microsoft itself, 2 terabytes. Only for log file. Data files, it can grow.
But they can create multiple log files with the
You can create multiple log files. You can create, but the log file is reusable, right? 2 terabytes of log file means, again, if you shrink the 2 terabytes of log file, you will get the whole 2 terabytes of free space. Generally, it's not recommended practice to add multiple log files. That's why if you go to big organizations, you can see multiple data files, 2, 3, 5, 4, 5, 10 data files also will be there, but only one log file will be there. It's not recommended practice to have multiple log files, okay? But it's recommended practice to have multiple data files so that the data will be organized in a parallel files, I mean to say parallelly, so that the performance and all will be improved if you have multiple data files in. Very simple. See, if everything I'm dumping in the same C drive while writing terabytes of data to the disk, again read and write operations matters. Imagine if it is writing everything to C drive or whatever drive, only single drive is there, then read write operations can be slow. If I organize multiple files in multiple drives, the read and write operations will be shared among the drives. So read and write operations can be improved if you can add multiple data files. Okay, so generally we'll prefer to add multiple data files in the organizations. This is the reason. Okay, imagine if you want to write a lot of data to a single disk, then it will take a lot of time. But if you are managing the same thing on multiple drives, the read and write operations can be faster when compared to a single drives. On all drives, parallelly read and write operations will be applied, right? So that's why we'll prefer to add multiple data files. If it's a big database, we'll prefer to add multiple data files in multiple drives in the organization. Yeah. So someone is asking the question.
Yeah, Shanmugh, me, Sandeep. Yeah,
Sandeep,
actually, you have briefly explained about TCP IP. Is there any other discussion in future about this?
No, that's it. That's it. We'll generally will perform what how to change the TCP IP port and all. That's it. We don't have any other
Okay. Actually, can you give me in one word, like what is the exact TCP IP?
See, remote connections. For example, now you are in Bangalore, imagine the data center is there in the US. Generally, you can connect by logging into the Windows machine, wherever the machine is. You are a DBA, right? But imagine you are a developer. Developer cannot connect to the machines directly, right?
Yes.
Right. So now we need to establish a connection between the client laptop and the SQL server. This TCP IP will be responsible for establishing remote connections between client and the machine, SQL server.
Okay.
So if TCP IP is enabled, then only developers can. That's why developers can't directly log. As a DBA, I can directly log into the machine. Why? Because I have to do a lot of maintenance activities. But developers can't log into Windows Server. Developers, they will install SSMS in their local laptop.
Okay.
Using that local SSMS, they will connect the SQL server somewhere from the US, UK, Singapore and all. How come? Who is responsible one? Without connecting to the Windows server, how come you are able to connect to the SQL server from different data centers? Your TCP IP is responsible.
Okay. Yeah. From their local laptop, they will open SSMS and they will connect to server through port number.
Correct. So client can be in any laptop. Okay, client is our SSMS, can be in any laptop, but server is in one data center. Maximum two remote connections will be allowed for every server. So 100 developers will be there. How come they all can connect together at a time? Not possible, right? So that's why this client server architecture, client which is SSMS can be installed in their local laptops. They'll simply open SSMS in their local laptop. They'll give the server name. This server can be in any data center. So who is establishing the connection between the client machine and the Windows machine or SQL server? That is your TCP IP. Yes.
Yes. Thank you.
Bro, I have one doubt.
Yes, please.
Like for the default instance, the port number is 1433 and we can customize it only within the 4-digit.
Correct.
But for the named instance, 5-digit it's supposed to be. So like, is there any rule like it's supposed to be 5-digit?
4-digit, 5 digits and all. I am saying dynamic number will be 5-digit.
Okay.
4-digit
For the
you can set
differentiate.
it. Correct. You can set it as 4-digit port number also. No issue.
Got it.
Custom port cannot be. It's not like customized port can be only a 5-digit. No, not like that. It can be 4-digit also.
Okay, bro. Fine. Thanks.
Yeah. Any other questions related to these files, guys? We are like already running out of time. Fine. Right, and if you see here, as of now, no files are created. I'm just copy pasting this path in the run. You don't see any of the data files that we are creating. Batch52, can you see? I told you, right, system databases will be created, right? System databases, master, model, MSDB, tempdb. So each database will have one data file and one log file. Okay, so like that you can see MSDB data file, MSDB log file, tempdb data file, tempdb log file. ModelDB data file, ModelDB log file. Right. So now that will come automatically. When I click OK, in this window, in this location, you can see two more files, Batch52 data file, Batch52 log file, guys. Okay. Right, chalo. So these are the paths, guys. If you want, generally in the organization, what we will do, we'll keep data drive in the data file in the different drive. We'll keep log file in the different drive, like separate drives will manage. Again, it's a standard best practices, recommended practices. Shanmukh, can we keep both files in the same drive, same path? Is it possible, guys?
Yeah, we can.
We can. But read and write operations will be done on the same drive. Okay.
Yeah.
But if you can keep data file in one drive, log file in another drive, read and write operations can be performed on both the drives, which will be good. So the recommended practice in the organization will be data files will store in data drive, log files will be stored in the log drive. Separate drives will be there. We'll keep the files in separate drives as well. Clear?
Yeah.
That is the recommended practice to keep the files. Fine, guys.
Yes.
Right. Nikhil, I hope to some extent your answer is clear related to the adding data files in different drives. Right? Okay, chalo. So now I'm not going to give any file names, guys. I'll keep it as it is. No need to give the file names manually. Okay, so you can just click OK. Automatically the files will be created, and the options and all slowly we'll discuss the options during the discussion of each topic, guys. What is recovery models? What is compatibility levels? Okay, what is like these kind of things will be discussed slowly during the discussion of the topics, guys. Okay, I'm just clicking OK now. This is how we'll create the data. If you think it, if you just check it, I didn't give anything. I simply gave the name of the database. I just gave the name of SA account. Remaining all are default values only. But you should know what each value will do, right? So I'm just clicking OK now. Done. Database is created. If you see here, you can see the Batch52, and if you see in the location also, you can see two files. One is data file, another one is log file with 8 MB each created, guys. This is how we can create the database. In the evening session, we'll discuss how to create a database using the query and how to create the tables and all. Okay. Chalo, that's it for now, guys. We'll connect in the evening and we'll discuss other things. Thank you. Same meeting link you can use at 7 p.m.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes, please. Bye all.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Shanmugh, Shivagunathan.
Yeah,
In first 45 minutes, I'm in travel, but my network is not stable.
Okay.
Can you put the video in?
I'll upload. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, done. Thank you.
Shanmugh, do we need an evening session?
Yes,
today?
of course. Yes, of course, Venkatesh. From today onwards, you'll celebrate Diwali or what?
Today evening.
Yes, Shanmugh, today evening.
At least today and tomorrow evening session we can skip. No? Today and tomorrow only. Morning we'll have.
Why, Venkatesh?
Because we have kid.
Plans?
No, kid we have now. 2 kids are there. So yesterday I could not
that's
due
okay,
to office work. That's
yesterday that's okay, but we cannot skip today evening. Why? Because we are connecting weekends, right? So that's why.
okay.
Yeah. So today evening we cannot skip. Tomorrow morning we'll have class. Tomorrow evening we can skip it. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, done, guys. Thank you.
Okay.
Tomorrow morning it is there, Shanmugh?
Tomorrow morning it's there. It's there. Tomorrow morning it's there. What do you say? Do you want me to take class tomorrow morning or what?
Actually, I'll be on
Tomorrow morning, go to temple and other
Oh my
activities.
God.
Yeah.
Oh, so good now that you will go to temple and you will pray. I want to get DBA job. Anna.
Yes.
Okay,
Go with family.
That's okay. That's okay. I'll respect you guys. So we'll be discussing the evening session. If majority of saying no class tomorrow, then I'm okay with that. Okay. No issues.
Okay.
Okay, guys. Thank you all.
Yeah, thank you.